Welcome to Odd Musings with, what's the name?
Scott and Brent.
You heard him.
All right.
I'm
Thanks,
D.
Steve.
Snyder.
Welcome to Odd Musings 165. How's it going, Scott?
It's going well. How are you?
Doing good. We got a great show. We got Bob sitting in the green room.
Best intro music.
And we got D. Snyder to do the intro for us. How cool is that? So
that was very cool.
Cool. We got a fun show. We're gonna have Bob Hickey or Robert Hickey. I've called him Bob forever. I don't know if he prefers Bob or Robert, but I'll just call him Bob forever. So
I think he's listed as Bobby on the Kickstarter or somewhere. I saw Bobby Hickey. So he's a man of many names.
Yeah. But I've known Bob for a very long time when I first got into the industry. So I'm excited to talk about his current Kickstarter. We're going to talk about Shoutfire, Blue Line Pro, how he's been basically integral in the industry forever, and have a great time catching up. It's been too long since we're all stuck at home for COVID.
That's right.
God, it feels like we're being
the
punished.
Lockdown continues.
But we got some sponsors to talk about. I'm going to let you kick it off here with Team Titans.
All right. Team Titans Real Estate. Why? Because you matter. Team Titans specializes in the real estate markets of Macomb, Oakland, and Wayne counties. And while we use the latest in tools, social media, and technology to maximize your results, we never forget that real estate is still a people business. Our relationships with our clients will always be our number one priority. You can find us at teamtitansofrealestate.com. Through Facebook, you can go to Team Titans RE on Facebook. And or you can call us, 586-549-6096 is my number. You can see it over my shoulder over there somewhere over there. But yeah, we're here to help you. It's a weird time, but people still need to buy and sell homes. So if you want, talk to an expert. We're here for you. If you're looking to buy a house, why do it on your own? Typically, the seller pays the commission for us when you're buying a home. It's free legal advice. Would you go to court without a lawyer, especially when the lawyer is free? So use us. We're being paid by the seller in most cases, not always, but if not, we can work out the details with you on how we can make that happen. Anyways, give us a call. We want to help you.
All right. Excellent. And then we also have Loringer Family Chiropractic Center, PC. Oh, got the ad read half.
Which we got to sing happy birthday to Dr. Anna.
Yeah, today is Dr. Anna's birthday. Let me scroll on down. And there she is right there on the right. Got a little circle there. It's her 29th birthday. So it's good to see. I saw her yesterday. I forgot today was her birthday. I wasn't thinking about the dates. Or I'd wish her a happy birthday. So I'll see her next week in that. But at Loringer Family Chiropractic Center, PC, they do take great pride in providing the finest chiropractic care to each and every patient. Offering on-site digital x-rays, massage therapy, orthotics by foot level, young living essential oils, aromatherapy, full line of vitamins, all in a family-oriented environment. You can give a call at their Belleville, Michigan location, 734-697-4244. Visit online here at the website that I got going on the screen there, and that's at LoringerFamilyChiropractic.com. As always, on oddmusings.com, we have links to all our sponsors on there, so definitely check that out. And I was there yesterday, like I said. I wish I'd remember it was going to be her birthday today. I would have wished her happy birthday, but I've been having shoulder issues. So we just did. And what's funny is, as much as she loves us and loves the show and has been a long-time sponsor, I don't think she's ever really watched her show because she's always busy on Wednesdays taking care of
They do have us on at their office, I've heard.
They do. Some of the staff will put it the great. Hopefully let her know. And if not, I'll see her next week on that. So very cool. Right. So
how was your week?
The week's been good. Finally finished up my last week of bonus week for doing Shipped. So I can go back to my normal type schedule.
You met your goals?
I met my goals, and so now I'm back to kind of normal, so I can actually get working on a few things. I got a commission I got to knock out for my buddy Dan over on the west side of the state. He sent me a Vader Down sketch cover I got to do for him. And then
sweet.
I need to get back into...
I love that comic book issue, too. That was
have you read it? Yeah, it was a fun read.
I love the end of it.
Yeah, so then I want to get back into getting the Boomtown Scabs done. So as we continue to work on all our Bardstone stuff and things like that.
Yeah, we've been very busy.
We've got a new thing here on StreamYard. We are now streaming to 3 channels at once. We've got Odd Musings, Bardstone, and YouTube because StreamYard just upgraded their system for us for free, so we can stream to 3 locations now. Awesome. So that's pretty cool. So got all that, but
I got to share on my pages too.
Yep. So do that. I'm gonna bring Bob up, and because he's waiting,
right.
he's kind of giving me the wagging finger, like hurry up and
The wagging finger.
Come on now.
Hey Bob, how you doing today?
Hey Brett. Hey Scott. How you doing?
Doing well.
Good.
I was telling people, you heard it, of course. I met Bob in actually I met you in 2004, and that's when I helped you load in your vehicle into Motor City Comic Con when I volunteered, and we were trying to figure out how do we publish comic books, and I got the good fortune of helping the man out that actually publishes the magazine on how to do comics.
Yes. Yes.
And I think since then we've been good friends.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have done many shows, ran around together.
Yep, stopped down there in Florence, y'all, and visited a few times. And
yep, I was there one time.
Yep, yeah, I brought Scott down the way down to Florida. I brought Kevin Lean with us a couple times, and
yeah, we got
like
to see the lair.
Yeah,
the lair.
The lair.
The lair. The lair's not there anymore. Now it's a store in back of our video game store.
Okay. That's right. You guys no longer have that
nicer lair, actually. Yeah,
and they got a great retro video game thing down there too. So that's pretty cool. Retro video games are, I think, one of the hottest things going on right now.
It is, and the funny thing is, I'm not a gamer, so I'm a great person to own a retro video game store.
So you have no emotional attachment.
Yeah, no emotional. Now my youngest, he likes a few of those games that come in. But myself, buy it and sell it. That's cool. It's sort of like comics, though. I've owned comic shops over the years, and we sort of fell into this, and it was pretty easy for us to figure out. But we've got it's sort of weird when you come in a retro video game store. We got about 4,000 square feet, but the back of it is an art store. So most people just sort of look at us and go, why? Well, actually, we've been selling art supplies for over 30 years. So we sort of bring that with us, and we move pretty much of it. It's amazing. You get the crossover a little bit, especially with the manga stuff with the gamers. So
yeah. That's cool. Yeah, it's Blue Line. Yeah, that was how I met you. You ran Blue Line. Here's Blue Line Art, still up and running. BlueLinePro.com.
Yeah,
and I still use. That's the only paper I use when I draw comics on paper is Blue Line. So
when you draw on paper, that's the ticket.
That's the ticket. Actually, a lot of I like to draw. I still like to draw it first and then scan it in to do everything else digital for the inking and that. But I still prefer because I like having an original piece of artwork. And while the digital stuff's nice, you don't have you can copy your links out.
Yeah,
there's no true original, like this is where the first stroke happened and everything else. So, and that's, I think
we have a whole generation of artists now who they may not even know what Blue Line is. It's a standard. No. I mean, like our age group, everyone used Blue Line. Yeah. Now you have artists who may have never even drawn on paper before.
Exactly. That's it. They don't have original artwork.
Yeah. Not one piece of original.
When we finally figured out, we sort of knew Blue Line was, slowing down because digital. But a friend of mine, Gary Barker, teaches at Ringling in Florida. Mm-hmm. They teach all kinds of art, but they really focus on comics. He says they only make their students draw the first semester on paper. Right. Everything after that can be digital.
And that's a shame. Wow. Because there are a lot of nice things about digital. Mm-hmm. But once you commit to an action on paper, it's there. And then if it's an error or a mess up, you got to figure out how to work it in. Just like Bob Ross, the happy accidents. Sometimes you get unexpected results that because you've had to work something in and it comes out better. You don't get that with digital because you hit the delete button or back whatever, and you can go through the history and go back 20 strokes. You can't do that on paper. Well, and I just feel you lose something when it's purely digital sometimes.
Well, somebody made a statement that people's styles are mistakes. So your styles or your Simon's, everybody, it's their mistakes they make.
Right.
Well, we don't see the mistakes when you do on digital. They go back and re-clean it and retweak it and reform. And it's to me, it is making things more generic, but it is so much easier. It's so much easier to send the files and take care of the publishing. So,
and that's where the art directors, I think, don't care about style. They just want deadlines met. So they're fine if you just threw something up and traced it and got it in on time.
Yes.
Yeah. They don't care about originality anymore. No. I've seen that myself. I mean, working at Lucasfilm, that's why I don't even care about working for them anymore. They don't care about originality anymore. So I'm fine with doing my own thing now. Now I can actually be original. I make a lot less money though being original, but it's more rewarding at the same time.
Right. Right.
But yeah, Blue Line Pro is quality products all the way around.
Well, and you got everything from art books to all the supplies you need and stuff like that. And I've told some of these kids at the shows, I'm like, you need to draw on paper. You need to, get some pencils here, get some erasers, get some inks and stuff like that. And they're all sitting there, and I've got a tablet, I've got an iPad Pro, I've got a screen right here I can draw on and stuff like that. But I still like to start everything off on paper and work with it that way. And and I like the mistakes and things like that. In fact, the cover I did for our comic Crimson Skies, I hand drew it. I popped up on the drawing board. I sat there. I only had a couple hours because Scott gave me like no time.
Hey,
so I looked for a couple quick references pictures. I kind of wanted to step out of my box a little bit so it wasn't too cartoony, and then I just had to rough it out. But if I did all digital, I could have done things a little differently. I just want to rough it out, scanned it in.
But it came out great.
Yes. Yeah, and I sent it over to Kevin Miner, and he knocked it out of the park for us. And
I think sometimes too, having those tight deadlines like that, it forces you to do something different, and sometimes you get those great things that you would have overthought it maybe if you had more time or whatever. And I'm talking about me, like sometimes too much time is a bad thing. So I was doing you a favor.
Yeah.
So as you see, Bob, Mom says hi. So
Hey.
So we don't drive to Florida hardly anymore, but eventually if we do, we're going to stop in there. We've been flying lately when we do that trip, but definitely we're a little bummed that with everything going on, they had to cancel Cincinnati because we hope to see you there, but
that'll
have to be next year. So,
but this year actually, I was going to do a few shows. I'm back to where I can actually walk again after 4 ankle surgeries over the past 3 years. So it's like, yes, I can get back into doing shows. Well, no shows.
Yeah.
So we'll get back into it next year. We're
same with us.
Yeah.
We've got one scheduled still, and we're waiting to see how soon that'll get canceled. It's in Akron in November, so still months away. That could change, but we understand that
we've had one all year. We just had Great Lakes, I think, and that's it. That was February.
Yeah, end of February we did Great Lakes Comic-Con, and then it was right after that when everything started just cascading on the schedule and getting rescheduled or canceled and that. So it was weird because we had some great shows lined up for us. We were doing Denver and Vegas back to back, and
I was so excited for this year because then with the Bard Stone rolling out, this was going to be our big unveiling at San Diego Comic-Con. Everything was like perfectly aligned.
Right.
And then 2020 hit.
Yeah. How dare it?
Yeah. Now, besides Blue Line, though, go ahead, Bob.
Yes. We just was the same way. We're looking to bring out this Kickstarter, get around, tell people about it before. But now this year, we're just looking at creating merchandise. Just get some out. It's build a following 1% at a time. So, that's sort of what we plan on doing. My youngest, who never got to do shows with me, was so excited, though. He's like, yeah, I'm finally get to do a show with Dad. And I'm like, well, next year, we'll do it next year.
Well, Tina's blaming you, so
this is Bob's fault. He was going to do shows.
That's it.
Yeah, we had Rodney on from a couple weeks ago from Haslam. That's Tina from Haslam and Kickstarter.
Yeah, Rodney's just up the road from me. So
yeah, I mean it's funny. It's like you get these pockets of people that kind of like right here. We got Scott and I here in Michigan. Kevin's only 2 hours away from me over in Indiana, and so we're all this close. Then you get down to your way, and you got you got Rodney. I know several other people all right in that general area. Again, it's like pockets of this great artistic talent going on, and I think Kickstarter's been the best way for all of us to really get our stuff out there.
I agree.
And, so in fact, let's bring it up real quick. Here it is. So we've got your Kickstarter. Let's see where you're at right now. You're at 2704, looking for $3,000. Yeah. You got 2 more weeks to go.
Paradox Wars, Shattered Time #1.
We're only 300 away. Here again, a lot of people brought up why ask for the $3,000, and as you guys know, it costs a lot to do this. It is expensive, especially when you're not doing everything yourself.
Oh yeah.
If you bring in pencilers, inkers, and colors, it's expensive. And for me to practically get a project done, that's what I've got to do. I mean, I love creating comics, but we all have day jobs. Yep. We're running the video game store at 60, 70 hours a week. And so practically to keep some project moving, this is where we had to go. So so we wanted to reach it. I'm lucky because I've been around the industry for 30 plus years. God. And well, you said we met in 2004. I looked at a Blood and Roses comic that we did. We published it in 93.
Oh, wow.
And Blue Line was around in 89. So our true end of this industry was in 89. And we would do shows. We would go to a show and open up a trunk and take in boxes of paper. It's all we sold. And then we'd leave with empty boxes, you know? So in 89, 90, we were doing that. 93, we got around to publishing comics. 2004, we were really heavy into doing, I don't know, 20 to 25 shows a year. But I was lucky I met so many people out there. And I've watched so many people, the Greg Lands, those guys who started off small, come in the Blue Line, you know, throw them a job. Now they're at Marvel and DC. Yep. I'm currently Brian Level, who's doing Marvel DC work. He did a print for the Kickstarter for me. He's local.
That's awesome.
He's worked for Image, Marvel DC, Brian has. So I'm lucky with Blue Line. I got to reach out and meet so many people. And I mean, that's helped us to get pretty darn close to where we want to be. And I'm just saying just to give away some free stuff. So, you know,
right.
But what I want to do the stretch goals. And I announced last night on social media, I'll put the image up this afternoon, but at $3,001, we're going to give away a print.
Yeah.
I just
3,001.
Yes.
There it is. That's a beautiful print.
Joel is the artist. He is going to be doing chapter 2 of Paradox Wars, and Chris Dreyer is taking over the inks.
Nice.
So we had him do this promo piece a few years ago, actually, and had a studio color it for us, and they're going to be behind the coloring for us also. So it's sort of a trial piece all the way around for chapter 2. I love the way it turned out. So it
looks great. I love the coloring styles on it. The inks are fantastic. The pencils are great on this. It's got you know, we were talking, you know, how, you know, between digital and paper, it's got a great feel of, you know, pre-digital comics. It's, you know, with the way the characters are and things like that. And then adding in the technology with the coloring in that, it just feels like it's got a great mix all around. I love it.
Yeah, the thing is, it's totally produced digital, as I know. I've seen the 4 roughs that Joel did for it, and he rearranged parts of it. Like he moved the dinosaur head up and stuff over a little bit, like for him, like nudging her. And then Chris is 100% digital inker, but he comes from 20 plus years of traditional inks. He only went digital because he got carpal tunnel, and he can get a lot more work done digitally. So he brings a lot of that, and he creates his brushes with the thoughts of doing traditional inks.
And I think that's a real key for you young artists out there. I think it's like doing math. You should start off without using the calculator.
Yes.
You know, so you actually know how to do it. And I think it matters to learn how to draw on paper and before going to digital. Because like you said before too, you develop your style that way. That's you know, there's so much there. But you know, you mentioned too, and you do hear this with Kickstarter, like ours was roughly $3,000 too, our minimum goal. And it's like, well, why are you trying to raise so much? For Crimson Shadows, just for full disclosure, I spent about $7,300 producing that and getting the rewards and everything. I raised $3,500. So, you know, and I did it very cheaply. You know, I had Brett and Kevin help out. I'm going to be, you know, rewarding them with some thank you gifts. But they helped out immensely. But it costs. People don't realize how much is involved just in producing the book alone. Then on top of it, it's expensive to print the number of issues you need and all the rewards and everything else. Then you got shipping, which is a big part of it.
It is.
My shipping of my comics alone are going to end up being, I've got about $450 already spent, and I don't have them in hand yet. But that's going to be cost to get it out to me, and then I'm going to have to pay to ship it out to them. Right. So it's expensive, people.
Yeah, it is expensive. Very expensive.
Well, that's when people talk about why should I spend, like, you know, the first pledge here, and I think it's well worth it. It's $10, just a basic $10. Why should I spend $10 on this comic? Well, first of all, I mean, it's you're not getting just any comic. You're getting a special comic. You're helping launch something. You're on the ground floor and things like that. I'd love to be able to sell a comic on Kickstarter, you know, for $3.99 plus shipping, like they do at Marvel and DC. But I'm not going to sell enough comics that way. Even on Kickstarter,
you have to buy a billion copies up front to be able to afford that.
Yeah,
right.
And then you'll be
cents a
selling
copy,
them when
you know?
you're 310 years old still.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, even on that $10, we included shipping, so we're covering the shipping on all U.S. shipping things. So yeah, we're probably going to bite it on that one a little bit. But to our benefit, with owning Blue Line, I have a like a $40,000 digital press sitting in back of a retro video game store. So unlike a lot of people, let me show you guys. We can do like cover comps, and just go over to the press room and run off a cover comp and see if we like the way everything's working.
That's nice.
So that's the benefit to this, but they're still expenses. I mean, keeping that machine running is expensive, and it's used very little except for printing Blue Line covers now. So it's like, I just as well do something, but you still got costs involved. You got your paper, your production, your bindery. People just don't realize it.
Yeah.
But it is nice having it there, though, to run off demos and samples.
Nice. Very good. So tell us a little bit about Paradox Wars. So, you got the synopsis on there, and it sounds very interesting. Let people know about it.
Well, Paradox Wars, I've spent nearly 30 years, since 93, publishing comics. I've published Blood and Roses, Storm Quest with the Image and Caliber, independently, just doing cons with Tempered Steel and Hellgirl and a couple other ones, Savage Family. And I wanted to build this great big universe, the big Marvel universe with superheroes and all that. And we have enhancers, not mutants. Don't know what the difference is, other than Marvel probably trademarks mutants. So yeah. So it was
Marvel couldn't even use their own trademark because they had sold it there. But
true.
they got it back.
But it was, I guess, where I'm at now, and I have time to do it. I'm like, I love all these characters. You spend so much time, and the cool thing is these characters write themselves. You guys know, you sit down and you want to write Tamara, and you just know what she would do and what she would say and what would happen. Or you write Chris, which is blonde, and you're just writing these characters. It's like, I want to do a story where I get to play with all of them, but all I got to do is focus on one story. So our goal is to do 12 chapters, Paradox Wars, over the next several years, 1 or 2 issue a year, as we can get the team. Like you said, it's expensive. And we usually at $3,000, $4,000, we're going to take a beating on it. We hope to build up a following to help at least cover the cost of it down the road, and have fun. We're going to introduce, every chapter will introduce some other characters along the way. The basics of the story is pretty much on the Kickstarters. There's a time stone that's connected with the universe, and it's been shattered throughout the universe, and the girl's got to go around finding the pieces of it and putting it back together before all time evaporates or whatever. The thing is, there's bad guys doing the same thing. There's always good guys and bad guys, and the rogues are going around grabbing this time stone thinking they can use them to be the most powerful beings in the world. They don't care if everything just disappears. So the breakdown is there are good guys, bad guys, and eventually it's starting off as the sci-fi, because I didn't want to break too far away from where Blood and Roses was, a sci-fi fantasy with the girls jumping around time. But it's going to get into, I want to say, a war comics, but you're going to get more of, this is a battle for infinity. This is a battle to survive. And this is where we're going to go. We're going to bring Hellgirl in chapter 2. She's been running around in hell, where she joins one side or the other. She's going to fall. Tempered Steel, which was my superhero in modern day, we're going to really play around with his tech and bring him into it. And you're going to see squads. Over the weekend, I was gone to take just a mental break for a couple of days. And it's amazing, when you take a mental break, you still work. Yeah. The wife takes a mental break, but you still work. So I come up with the concept of the Lost Squad, and what it was is, when we did Paradox Wars Chapter 1, Shattered Time, Mitch is a wonderful, wonderful, great artist. The thing is,
Mitch Bird, right?
Huh? Mitch Bird, yes, yep. Mitch Bird. The thing, how this issue came around, though, was a 30-minute conversation, and then pages started showing up.
Nah.
There's no plot. There was nothing. So there's these characters that I look at and go, what am I supposed to do with these? So we think we've come up with a really cool story element to make it all work together and then move forward from this point.
Nice.
But yeah, Mitch was in the process of doing some covers for us for the Blood and Roses series and some other thing to tie them together. And we got talking about, I think it was back in the 60s, there was a TV series about cowboys and dinosaurs. And dinosaurs, the modern age, and cowboys. And Mitch knew exactly the name of the title and everything about it. And I was saying I had a coloring book like that. I wouldn't even color in it because I just loved the concept and this little one-liner stories that were involved in it. And it had cowboys and dinosaurs in it. He goes, oh, yeah, that came from this series. So in that conversation, it sort of moved over to this story. Hey, let's do something with Blood and Roses and that. And originally the title of the story was Blood and Roses, Cowboys and Dinosaurs. And, you know, just took forever to get it together, and I had to go open up more businesses, and now we're ready to do it. And we sort of moved it into this.
Now, one thing you mentioned, these are characters coming from your other stories. You have a really cool reward package for $60 where you get all of your comics. It's this whole digital bundle where you get a ton of titles in there.
Yeah, there's 22 books, I think, total
nice.
Published. Actually, the 90 bundle has been our biggest. Because
nice.
You get printed versions of all the books.
Oh, that's even better. Oh, yep, there it is.
You get 22. You get 22, and that has what's really helped push us up to our numbers is people
there you go.
Just now finding out about us. And,
you can't beat that. That many printed copies.
Right.
You know, how nice is that? And those are the full series of Blood and Roses, right?
You get the whole Blood and Roses, you get the whole Storm Quest, and then the oddball stuff that we published and took around the cons over the years.
So if someone was to be getting this reward package, should they read all of those first before getting into Paradox Wars, I assume?
You don't need to. That's something that was brought up last week. You don't need to. I think you could jump right into this, enjoy the story. Sure.
Perfect.
But it does add something, you know.
Right, because you'll have history and investment in these characters.
Right.
Nice. Your artwork looks great in here. Loving what you got going on here.
And thank you.
Let's see. You got multiple. One of the popular things on Kickstarter is multiple covers. I see. Yes. You got Joe on Corny here, which is great. You got let's see. Brian Level.
Yeah.
Andy Kuhn. So you got, and these are limited edition runs.
Renee DeVise. She did a Wonder Woman series for DC Comics, but she first did a Blood and Roses issue for us.
Nice.
And so that's one of the issues you get in the bundle. She did a cover for us. And then Andy Kuhn is doing the new Mutant Ninja Turtle series Ronin. That's coming. That's the first time Eastman Laird has worked together in a long time. So he's actually drawing that. And I've known Andy for a long time. Joe Crony is another one who I met because he was getting into artwork, and I gave him his first little publishing gig, and I've known him for years and years and years.
Yeah, I've known Joe for a long time. He's a great guy.
Yes, he is. And then Brad Gorby, he was the one who helped us publish the very first. He drew the very first Blood and Roses. And his cover, I love that piece because I always consider it like a movie cover, a movie piece because of the way it's laid out. And so we went, in those early days, we were doing colors like Valiant Comics, where they were doing the watercolor washes and blue lines. And so we colored that cover that way, sort of give you that retro feel of where we started from.
Nice.
It's Brad's art, my inks. And we just did the watercolor washes on that piece. So I really like it. But I got Yuko doing covers now. Yuko is awesome art.
Yuko is a fantastic guy. I love Yuko's artwork, and he does a ton of card work. I've seen him doing over the years and that, but he's just a fantastic illustrator and colorist.
Oh yeah. We've seen him for years at the convention circuit as well.
Yes. Yuko's actually working on our next Kickstarter, and as far as we know, and he agrees, he's going to be doing every Kickstarter cover for us, just keep that unity, that feel for the projects.
Awesome.
So
that's that's a nice thing to have too. Is you got consistency across the board on the covers and having that off there. But you got to look great. I mean, there's you, of course, over here. So and then you got Bill Nichols there with you, and Mitch Bird and then Willie Peppers as well. And then I like this, the mysterious Arrow Zero colorist.
She she's gone. We can't find her. She called us a few years ago, and somebody said she's doing a Pinterest, or not Pinterest, but a Patreon thing. But yeah,
Okay.
we're like, where is she? So I just threw that in the mysterious Arrow Zero. That's what she went by. So
Okay.
It sounds like a bad guy name, like from the old G-Force cartoon.
yeah.
It's the mysterious Arrow Zero.
Yeah.
It sounds like an anime villain or something. Arrow Zero.
We might have to use that in the story down the road.
There you go.
Yeah.
She got sucked into the paradox time stream.
There you go.
You got to find her with this time stone.
Yeah. Now, you're talking about giving stuff away. Did you have something you wanted to talk about in the show to give away?
I sure do.
Yeah.
I have. As I said earlier, this was originally titled Blood and Roses, Cowboys and Dinosaurs. And years ago, I don't know, it's been about 6-7 years ago, Brett and I and Kevin were at Pittsburgh, I think it was, and it was slow. Not the slowest show I ever sat in. Detroit was actually the slowest show I ever sat in. But it was slow.
Yeah.
That one Detroit show, there was crickets, but this wasn't that slow. It was slow. So
Was
Kevin
this
was
the one
looking
that
for
Wizard took over Pittsburgh
No, this
the
is
year before.
the
Yeah,
year
this-
before? Okay.
yeah, this was right after everything kind of went
Yep.
crazy and
I was there. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So Kevin was looking for something to do, and I had printed up these blank postcards to get some artwork to give away when we finally launched this. So I have, let's see if I can get this on camera. There we go.
Oh.
You can see originally it was titled Blood and Roses, Cowboys and Dinosaurs. Kevin did about 6 or 7 of these. This is how bored he was. So we're going to give this away randomly. Anybody who sponsors a print reward. In other words, I got to ship you something. We're going to just drop this into a random package and send it out to you. So thank you.
What size is
Kevin.
that? 4x6? 5x7?
Yeah, or 4x6s. 4x6s.
That's a great size.
These little top loaders. And thank you to Kevin for doing the artwork.
And that's original art there, huh?
This is the
Yep.
painting.
Wow. That's awesome.
You're going to get the original painting that Kevin did.
Nice.
We'll give Kevin his plug because he gave us this. So
Kevin Lean, leaninc.com. You can find him there.
Yeah.
He does not have a social media presence, so you have to go to his website.
Yes.
why does that sound so much like Kevin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
I
the
told him,
mysterious
I
Kevin Lee.
I said, you got to set up a Facebook. And he's like, I don't want to mess with all that, blah, blah, blah. I had the MySpace, didn't like it. I said, you set it up. And then you just set up a separate fan page that you just post stuff to. And you link to both between the, he's like, but he's still drawing. When we talk every couple months, he's still working on stuff, trying to flesh out some story ideas. And eventually he'll have something to publish soon, I hope. And we can get something out there with him and that. But yeah, that's some awesome stuff he did. I remember when he did that because it was, that was we were all just kind of standing around talking and it's like, what's going on? Because I think I wandered that show a lot that weekend because there was just nobody there.
I think our worst show ever was that the Mall of America, Brett, over there.
Oh yeah, that was our absolute worst.
That show was so bad. The celebrities were going around interviewing vendors for their social media pages.
Oh no.
We sat there on Saturday. We're like, nobody's here. And, there's very few people coming in. Sunday morning, I was like, we should just get out of here. We actually left at 2:00. We were going to leave at 1. It's only because at 1:00, like 2 people actually came up to our tables to buy something.
Like the
and they were
surge.
gone. Yeah. And then we looked like there's nobody coming in. We just took everything down. We hit the road. And originally we were planning on like driving a little ways and stopping. We were like, we didn't make any money to afford a room. Let's just go home. So we drove Minneapolis all the way back here to Detroit. So
that was a very inexpensive show to do, and we still lost money.
Yeah. Tables were cheap. Hotel, I got a really good deal in the hotel. In fact, I think it's a hotel. But
it was crazy cheap.
Yeah.
We made like nothing.
The best part was we went to the Mall of America and wandered around there and had dinner.
Yeah.
And it was like, couldn't even afford to do the amusement park there. That was bad. We both got back going. Well, I guess we're getting regular jobs because this sucks.
This sucks. I know that Pittsburgh show, they had stuck Blue Line and always came along with Blue Line back in this little corner. They had that little side room.
Yeah.
Off to the side. And I'm like,
yep.
No, I've sat in these before all by myself. I'll just go home.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, good luck with your show. And so as we're just getting ready to leave, she goes, whoa. I had a cancellation. So she moved us up to the front of the show. I really wish we'd went home. Other than this piece of artwork we got from Kevin, that was the best thing that happened that whole show.
Right.
That was a tough one. That's when Pittsburgh really was dying, just as for shows in general. It wasn't just their fault. It was they had the other show going on, and then there's like 5 shows trying to go on at the same time in the same area over the course of the year. They ended up having like 20 different ones, and it's all from small, and just confused the whole market.
Yeah,
and so I stopped doing Pittsburgh shows not too long after that.
Well, we signed up for one more to give them a chance, and that's when Wizard bought them out. Then I was stuck going to the Wizard. Did you go to that one, Brett?
No.
Oh, that one was even worse than the year before at Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
that's where
anyway. I was
David,
like,
he wasn't happy with how slow it was. Even Lou Ferrigno left early. A show is bad when Lou leaves early. When does Lou leave early?
Never.
No, he's like, I know there's $1 here somewhere. I'm staying.
Right.
If Lou leaves the building, there's no dollars left.
No, there's none.
It's funny how we, doing these shows like we do, you get to know certain celebrities and other artists of it. It's just funny how we get to know them on such a different level than fans.
Right.
Everyone else like, it's Lou. And we're like, oh, he's just looking for $1.
Right.
He's looking for $1 or a date.
Oh, yes.
I can't tell you how many times I've been at shows and he's hit on friends of mine's wives.
Oh, yeah.
Usually both.
Yeah.
There's not more in there. He wants both. He wants $1 and dates.
Yeah.
And dates.
Yeah. Now, always tell people I stayed away from shows that Stan Lee was there. And they'd be going, why?
Yep.
Because he sucks all the money out of the room.
Yep.
And what's funny is
I
always did well with Stan shows. So when he was ever at a show, I did well. It was funny because other people say the same thing, and I'll be like, I was like, I always do pretty good,
Yeah.
But I understand that because with something like Blue Line in that, it would be tough with in there because people are like, oh, I need some art supplies. Oh, Stanley's $150. Okay, I gotta go.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, the other problem when you have a celebrity that was like Stanley level, or even like when they have shows where like we have all the Avengers are here. Not only is it the amount of money they suck out of the room, but also the amount of time those people are standing in line for like 2 days nonstop, just getting autographs, and we're just sitting there dead, and nothing's happening because everybody's stuck in line for all day.
Right.
And and then Sunday they finally come to your table, and it's like, oh, I love everything you have. I wish I had some money, but let me show you the $2,000 in autographs I got. Look, and it's like, oh, great, yeah, just what I want to look at.
You're like,
how you spend your money elsewhere.
I bought a T-shirt and spent $80 a person to have them all sign it.
Yes. Yeah, so that's the hard part where, Comic-Cons, there is a nice balance that can be achieved where you have 1 or 2 good celebrities, then you have the mid-level celebrities, and then you got the vendors and artists, and then it's a nice harmony. But when you get into those kind of things, it just becomes an autograph show is all it is.
Well, that's where the Kickstarter has been great because it's actually bringing the fans back together again with the creators. And I'm really hoping after this COVID's done that this is what we start seeing at the shows. They realize, hey, I can actually go see these guys now again. And they start coming back out and embracing the independent comic creations, the artist alleys, the small presses, which is, as much as I enjoy some of the vendors, I even like meeting some of the celebrities, I would still spend as a fan over 90% of my time in Artist Alley because that's where all the action is. And I want to give you a quick update. You got an update on your thing. You're up to $27.99.
Woohoo!
Oh,
go guys! All right.
Yeah. So you're $201 away. So
let's make it happen. We still got stuff away. We still got time. Get over there. Somebody, 2 people. We just need 2 people to buy the big $90 pack, $95 pack. Yeah, all the issues printed.
Yeah. Now, Bob, do you know Kevin Miner?
Hey, Kevin, I don't know personally. I might have ran into him over the years. I see so many people.
With your car?
He does the
memories going.
Well, when you see his artwork, he did the artwork as the split. So he did like the 2 character split, split faces.
Yeah, I remember those.
Yep,
Okay.
yep. So that's a lot of his stuff, and he's got his Poe book that we did with Bardstone came out. The Kickstarter's done with that, and then he's working with us on the Crimson Shadows and everything else. He's 1/3 of the heart of Bardstone Publishing. So
awesome. Scott, you got a like preview book or something, didn't you? Didn't you have a show yesterday? You showed something.
Oh, for Crimson Shadows,
Yeah,
I've got. I can show it since you brought it up. I've got the physical copies in for our artist proofs, so it's in hand and it's looking phenomenal.
Woo!
So I went through. Everything looked good, so I authorized.
The black borders look really good. Whoever came with the idea for the black borders is a friggin' genius.
Why do I feel like that was Brad?
Yeah, originally I was going to go with black borders, but because my other books were black borders, I'm like, well, maybe I should go back to white. And then Brett did the black, and I'm like, well, if Brett thinks so, I think I'll go back to that. So I do like the black borders. I don't know, something about the black borders I'm always leaning towards. But so it's come out really great. So I authorized the full print run. Everything's a go now. So I should have them all in hand in a couple weeks, and then I can start fulfilling orders.
Awesome.
And then I've also written issues 2 and 3 and half of 4 right now.
Wow.
I'm trying to get 5 issues written to have my first initial story arc. So when that gets all done, I'll do a special trade run where I'll have like 140 pages of the story with like 20 extra pages of bonus material. So yeah, looking forward to that. I started layouts on issue 2. So our penciler, J. Travis Smith, he keeps emailing me almost every day. When can I start? Because he can't wait to start issue 2. So I'm trying to have layouts done for next week so I can send them off to him and he can get started. So awesome. We're diving in. I'm using this time to, let's make it happen.
Right.
So I'm hoping to have a Kickstarter every couple months.
Who's your printer?
Ready Comics is who I use out of Arizona.
Okay.
Yep. They've I've been with them for many years. They've done a good job. They do good quality. They're also what's it called, Brett? Diamond distributor.
Yeah, they're Diamond approved.
Diamond.
They ship direct to Diamond for you.
Yep.
Okay. So they do all that. So
and the packaging is really great. Everything they ship out, they over package it so nothing gets damaged. I see
they go all out on their packing. That's nice.
Yeah, nice.
Nothing worse than ordering a comic book and having it arrived all beat up.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I was lucky when Blue Line did mine. I just picked him up on the way down to a show.
Sure. No shipping involved.
Yeah,
that's even better. Yes, that is nice when we do our West Coast shows. Ready Comics has a good presence in the Southwest, so like San Diego, Anaheim, Vegas, Phoenix. They'll just bring it right to your table. Yeah, so that works out well too.
Yeah, because they're driving all the promotional stuff, and they're like, anybody needs stuff, they bring all our prints and books and everything else. And nice about that is they didn't have to worry about packing it; just had to worry about getting it home if we didn't.
Right.
Yeah, but good stuff.
So
I'm excited for all this.
The Kickstarter and Blue Line, you've got Shoutfire. I want to definitely make sure we promote this.
Oh yeah,
this is talking about independent comics. I mean, this is a great resource for people that want to create comics that already are creating comics. Now you were the publisher for Sketch Magazine here, and how many years did you guys do Sketch Magazine?
Ooh, that's a good question. 15, 20? Somewhere in there. Basically, with Blue Line, we decided, we do so many of these shows. We talk to so many artists. You guys were talking about Artist Alley. I would walk Artist Alley. I always get yelled at because I never worked a booth. I would walk Artist Alley, look at everybody's stuff, pick up books or cool little things they were making to sell. And even guys, I'm one book called Pirate Girl, something like that.
Cursed Pirate Girl.
Yeah. Well, he didn't have his book at the show, but he's like, if you give me, I forget what it was, like 10 or 15 bucks, I'll send it to you. And the artwork looked great, but I never expected to get it. Well, I did. I got it, So that kind of stuff always got involved in. So, and I would get a lot of questions on how to do this, how to do that, because we're selling the art supplies. So we published Sketch Magazine. We published 46 issues of Sketch Magazine. And, magazines are here or there. Diamond really shoves you in the back and ignores you. And they were very helpful at the beginning, but as we later on went on, they weren't helpful at all. So we had these issues basically sit around. We sell a few issues here and there on Amazon and on our website here. And I'm still friends with Bill Nichols, who was the editor. Like I said, I've known Chris Dreyer for a long time. And Steve Steglin was at my original studio back in 89 and 90s. And now he's a cartoonist out in Charlton on a newspaper. And I just reached out to these guys, says, let's do something to share. We all love comics. We love reading comics. We love making comics. We love sharing about making comics. And so it's like, let's do something. I've got these 46 issues of Sketch. Let's build a site around it. So we tried to get 2 to 4 posts a week on it. Bill does these 10 questions, and he's got about 50 interviews up on the site. And Chris has got like 20 plus interviews, everything from digital. He's giving away digital brushes on the site. Steve's constantly got his insights on how he creates humor strips. And, we want to expand it. But right now we're at about 125, 127 subscribers to the site. It's free right now. So if you want to go check it out, shoutfire.com.
That's fire with F-Y-R-E.
F-Y-R-E, yes. And, I'm
looking through your site here. I remember Sketch Magazine, and, I'm looking through here. You have all the old issues put up, the covers. You've had so many amazing people in here. You got Todd McFarlane in here, Mark Silvestri. Hey, look at this. You got on issue number 5, Billy Tucci's on the cover. He's one of our friends. He's looking rather serious and young in that picture.
Young, yes, he was. Yeah, I've known Billy for a long time. A good friend of mine is Bo Smith. And through Bo, I've known Bo for a very long time. We were able to land like the Neil Gaimans and interview him personally, and the J. Scott Campbells, and Todd McFarlane. I interviewed Todd McFarlane. Todd McFarlane was driving in a car in a convertible, so I could barely record it, and every other word's F. And it was a fun interview. And so, it's just a lot of stuff. David Michael Beck, he's another Cincinnati artist here. I knew David there. Alex Ross is another one we reached out to and came to us.
Got Frank Cho in there.
I've met at conventions over and over. And finally I'm like, hey, let's do something with Sketch. So we throw out these sketchbooks like Mike Avanoming. He sent me this bundle of artworks like this thick. Well, I only got like a 5-page interview. There's no way I could put 60 pieces of artwork. So here recently, I moved my office back home. I have a home office now also. And I found that package. So I'm starting to post little sketchbooks of that artwork. So as I come along, other stuff from Sketch, we'll just start throwing it on the site. And hopefully people benefit from it.
Actually, I just came across the other day. I still have that one with Adam Hughes. That was probably one of my favorite covers of Sketch Magazine. The one Adam Hughes did. That was a really fun cover.
Yeah, I love that cover. It's sort of funny because you'll see these books go for like $10, $15, $20 on Bay. I'm looking like, I got 10 boxes over there in the warehouse.
Right?
I mean, that's where I should be selling them, not on the site for, cost.
Yeah. Very nice. Yeah, it's a great
you got free brushes on here too.
Yeah.
Digital brushes. So.
Digital brushes. Chris creates these and he uses them. This isn't just something he creates and throws out. And he does a little how-to video with each of them. And our agreement is that about once a month he creates us some type of brush. So,
yeah, this is a great site. I mean, for $4.99, you really can't go wrong with all the information here. The access to Sketch Magazine, all the different tips, tutorials. I mean, you got everything from coloring, lettering, drawing, inking to web comics. I mean, it covers the whole gambit in a lot of ways. So everything people are going to need here. And that's definitely a great resource. I know you and I've talked about it quite a bit as you were getting ready to launch it and that. And I think it's just an awesome, awesome product out here.
It might be a fun thing to tie in Blue Line Pro into is like how you do digital brushes, come up with a digital comic template where like you have different panel layouts or something with Blue Lines.
I have about 20 or 30 preset templates done up, and all different DPIs and everything. I just haven't posted them because I guess being an artist myself, do you want to refrain anybody to a certain layout, you know? And do they understand you can grab this top 3 panels and then move it over here and use these 3? And it's like, some people don't, you know, they'll take it and just fill them up. You know, if you do a 9-panel grid, they'll fill 9 panels. So we'll throw those on there.
Yeah.
We'll get them. It's going to be the space that everything we want to share how to is going to go. And I would love to get a weekly show on here about how to make comics. I think I spoke to Brett about it early on.
It's tough. It was tough with time.
Yes. But that's our goal. Our goal is down the road, maybe have some shows, some more YouTube stuff. I do the podcast. And the funny thing about the podcast this week I did with Bill Love is it'll post next week, is we talked about how our online show is going to replace Comic Artist Alley, you know, could be replaced. I mean, we get a lot more personal talking like this. I think if you have the spot, you know, the Spotify shop or the Etsy shop, where you can move your merch and you can constantly link to it.
I think we're seeing a nice merging though of these type of shows. Like we do it with our Kickstarters. Rodney's doing it with his, where you have a Kickstarter going, and then you start doing like these weekly mini podcasts to promote the show, promote the product. Kickstarter is a great way to move the product. Like when I come out with issue 2, that gives me an avenue to sell issue 1 also as a reward. And so it's a great way of keep moving product. And like even with yours, you've got your other titles as rewards. So Kickstarter combined with this type of technology, these types of podcasts, I think is where it might be steering, which, but there's something nice about Artist Alley to be able to meet face to face. I agree. I hope that doesn't go away, because I absolutely love meeting everyone around the country and talking to them.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be. We're gonna go back to some of the old ways was at the Comic Cons, where more people want to come out and actually interact more. Well, you've had a lot of people over these last few years where it feels like they're just kind of running around and goofing off. I think they're going to realize what they really missed was that getting to meet the new people, meet people like us that have done stuff or doing stuff and things like that. We'll start seeing more of that come back around. And because as much as the technology we have, the access to do all this, to do these live videos, to offer an online store and things like that, when you can actually say, I actually watched the guy 2 feet from me sign the book and then hand it back to me, or sign the print and hand it back to me,
or watch them do a sketch on the cover for me, or
it's a whole different thing. And I think people got away from that. And I think with everything going on here, we lost Scott. He'll pop back in. There he is. Lost your internet, Scott. So it's I think it's going to come back around. It's kind of like I think it more like records, LPs, and that people got back into records. It was kind of kitschy in that, but more and more people are staying with it. It's not just the trendy hipster thing anymore. People are like, there's something they really like about that. They like being able to see that. And while we got digital music up the wazoo, you can stream everything you want. It's kind of nice to say, yeah, I got this disc here, and just having it go around, and it's a different feel and a different sense to it. Same thing with everything. I always like
people in concert versus listening to them on a CD or.
And that's because if you look at music groups, they're all talking about they're not making money like they used to selling CDs and things like that. All their money's coming from touring. And when you talk to people are like, I got to go to more concerts, because when they get that live experience, it's a whole different thing. And as the younger generation's getting offline and going out and actually interacting more and realizing that it's a whole different feeling, whole different situation.
Didn't Disney World put their rides online so like you could virtually watch being on the ride? There's not the same thing.
No. Put a fan in front of you.
Video of a
little sprayer every once in a while,
Well, and even with 3D goggles, it's not going to be the same feeling of when you're actually on the ride, and that's what it all is. I mean, Stan Lee said it right. People, when we talk about digital comics, he's like, people don't, they're just like certain things. You want to put your hands on them, and with comics, you want to hold them in your hand, and the collector market, I think, is they may not be looking for a lot of the current Marvel DC stuff. They're still looking for a lot of the back issues, but they're always still looking for the latest, greatest, newest thing. And I think that's with Kickstarter in the last few years. And even this year, I'm watching more and more people get more creative with the time they have. And we're seeing some really cool Kickstarters. I've backed several this year that have been really great, and real excited about them, and seeing more and more pop up. And I think it's just that creativity we're seeing come back around to it.
I think another unsung ally of independent creators has been the streaming market. So many independent products have been getting picked up and made into live productions through Netflix or Prime or other things. I think it's a lot of people are waking up to it like, oh, well, where did this come from? That was a comic book. And I think it's causing people to look into independent creators and look at them in a way. You know, nobody's really looking at Marvel or DC for new, fresh content. They're looking at us. So I think that's also seeing places like Netflix and Prime bringing up the independent artists, I think has elevated independent artists to a higher level of respect in the public's eyes.
No, I agree. Talking about shows real quick. I think next year I predict to be a great year for shows. Because I think it's going to be like bringing old Coke back. Like, I missed it so bad. I got to be there. And I think it's going to be great for Artist Alley, same way.
I agree.
I talked to you guys and I talked to other people how things were sort of slowing down in Artist Alley. Attendees were there for the big names and everything. It's where all the money was. But I think next year is going to be an awesome year.
This might even weed out some. There were too many shows was part of the problem.
Right.
This might weed out some of the batch that maybe just were cluttering the landscape, and hopefully those got cleared out and will help. Once again, there's a happy medium to things, and I think I agree with you. I think next year is going to be a really awesome year.
Yeah, I'm positioning myself to be able to travel a lot more next year, do a lot more shows than I've done in the past 10, and be there.
Well, that's what we're doing too. I mean, we're already, because some shows got rescheduled. I know we're booked into I am and Kevin are booked into Denver, so we know we're gonna have Bardstone as a presence there. We're waiting to see how the shows lay out because it could be the same weekend as Motor City once they announce their dates because it falls in that timeline there. I'm kind of Motor City goes a week later because Maze and Mother's Day is a little bit early, and then it goes. Memorial Day is like the last day of the month, so there's 5 weekends in May this next year, and which always lends to everybody wanting to book in May for shows.
Right.
I know we're booked into Indiana Comic-Con, Gem City. They're all like back to back, which is kind of ways it goes. And now, of course, Cincinnati next year in September.
The hard part for next year is going to be remembering which shows refunded, which shows did they roll my fees over for, which shows did I have on my list that I need to still apply for. That's going to be the hard part.
Set up a spreadsheet, set up a Google spreadsheet and then share it with me so I know what shows you guys are doing.
Nice. Yeah, we'll definitely do that. We'll have to get you, let you know what shows we're doing. And
my biggest problem is when I go knock on a show door for the first time, they say blue line. So they want to sell me 4 booths.
Yeah.
I'm going, no, guys, I just want a couple Artist Alley for myself. They're like, oh, well, I may or may not have room. They always want the big bucks to come in. I'm like, no. First of all, Blue Line doesn't have the big bucks anymore.
Well, see, depending on the show, if we're not booked, we should have you do that. And then you bring in, your Shout Fire, you bring in the stuff you guys are doing. We bring in Bardstone. We do one big independent publisher area, and I'll split the cost on that.
Well, I used to go to Chicago. At one point in Chicago, we took 8 or 9 tables. We bought a whole row up at Chicago Artist Alley. It's 8 or 9 tables. And after that, they finally says, you guys got to go buy booths. Now, you can't sell art supplies and bring in your artists and keep all this together because we were just running everybody down the row. First half of it would be art supplies and sketch and everything. So that's when we started taking the double booths at Chicago. And, that's not cheap.
It's not. But I remember when you guys were in Artist Alley in Chicago there. It was, it was like that. It was great. You walk right in Artist Alley, we could find you. It's the shows that want to put the art supplies somewhere else. It's like right here. So when I, break my pencil or my ink runs out, I can run 2 feet away and grab it and come back. I don't want to have to go fight the crowd.
Always asked to be in front of or in the middle of or in the back of Artist Alley. I mean, when they make us buy booths, I said, I got to be close. So I'd have artists shake their microns going, empty, I'm like, all right. We run over there and get them a micron, because they couldn't leave their table. They were the only one there.
Yeah, we'll get you a girl on roller skates and she'll roller right out to you.
So we should recap. We should recap how to find you on Kickstarter. We're still at $27.99. Yep. So get on there, people. We're close to hitting the minimum funding goal. We're $201 away.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yep. So, and then shoutfire.com, I got scrolling at the bottom, but when you go to Kickstarter, look up Paradox Wars. It'll bring up Paradox Wars Shattered Time #1. $10 minimum, you get a physical copy of the book. They got a lot of different options for covers. You got several cover artists, as well as Yuko doing the official book. I think it's exciting. I think it's just awesome.
Yeah.
That. So
I appreciate it, guys.
And
we're looking forward to it and get this thing rolling. And, this is just the first one, hopefully.
Yep. And Bob, whenever you guys are launching a Kickstarter, let us know because we want to have you on the show and talk about it and help promote it.
Okay.
And get the word out. And then anytime you got anything going on or you just want to come hang out, let us know. We'll pop you on. Even if we're just talking non-comics, you can hang out with us and let us know what's going on. You're always welcome. So, hey, thanks for joining us, everybody. I'm going to end the show here and get everything going. Bob, don't take off. We'll talk afterwards.
All right.